Open house apocalypse. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So who's ready to jump back on the real estate merry-go-round as we examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly?
No, Scott, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the economic cracks. And we've got some cracks, friends. Listen, I love real estate. Thank you to everybody who helps me here at the channel and lets me help you with your real estate. I mean, I just love this stuff. Now, I came up the hard way. Like I got grinded. You know, the first open house.
Look, Alto. You think real estate? You think Scott Walters? I'll see you soon.
That I ever held was a multi-million-dollar property in, Southern California here, a playground of the rich and famous, neighbors with Oprah and Travolta. I mean, you name it, every celeb, Ellen, Lowe. Like, it was insane. And I couldn't believe this guy went to work for it. The advice I was given when I got into real estate is go with the biggest brokerage you can find and find the best agent in town and offer to be their intern for free for a year. That's the kind of commitment that was needed. And I remember the guy that I heard say that was another high producing agent. And I took that to heart. Now, I was lucky. I got a job as this guy's assistant, and it was a paying job. And I'd left my 9-to-5 job and got a job in real estate. I was newly licensed, and I knew I had to learn. And I wasn't going to trick myself, even though I thought I was a pretty neat guy, that I was just going to walk in and start stealing listings from these established agents. So I latched on to this guy had $1 billion in sales, his own brokerage on the Rodeo Drive of town. And it's really sweet dude. Interviewed with him and his transaction coordinator, and they were sweet. Made it sound fun. And I said, hey, I'd like to do this for like a year and then go to full-time agent. They're like, sure, Scott, sounds great. Well, this guy was a grinder. He told me, he said, Scott, listen, I've been holding open houses every weekend for the past 25 years. He's like, you're holding my open houses. And I was thrusted immediately on the $1 million listing. It was like an episode of $1 million listing, which is exactly what I had pictured. That part I loved. I loved being on the properties, loved dealing with the people, loved being Mr. Real Estate. In fact, that was what I became known as around town with a lot of the other agents. Like, there's Mr. Real Estate, because I was the guy on his camera, on his phone all the time, shooting videos and clips and marketing myself. I was shameless guerrilla marketing. And I looked the part. And I was not the smartest agent in town, but I made sure I acted like I was. And this guy was a grinder, and he had me holding all his open houses. Well, it was funny, because what I'm seeing now, and listen, friends, like I said, it was back at the office. I didn't like the office work. I liked being out on property, the behind the computer, the contracts, the forms, the disclosures, horrible. Now I have somebody that does all that for me. I don't love that stuff. Never did, and I figured delegate it. If you have to give up some money, do it. Do it. And besides that, you're going to benefit more. I want to bring you, and that's what I always do with you guys. Anytime I'm helping you guys with real estate, so you're going to get a top-rated agent, and you're going to get the most comprehensive service available in the industry today. Because I make sure we surround you. Not some lone wolf agent unwilling to spread the wealth. I will take a hit for you any day of the week. Any day of the week. And this segues us into this topic. This is insane. Now, like I said, I love real estate. I work in real estate because I want to, not because I have to. And, I'm very fortunate that I have investment income that I based my cost of living on. So I can go out and get a listing, not take a listing. I can give listings away. Which is what a lot of times I do, more consulting now than listings, and I do it nationwide instead of locally. There's a saying, dominate locally, then go globally. Well, I didn't go global. Well, we probably could go global, but I mainly just here in America, all over America, from Hawaii to Alaska. I've done it all. Helped a lot of subscribers, and a lot of sales. Done a lot. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to talk a lot about that moving forward, because the conversations I have with you are the real temperature check on what's going on out there today. Because the $1 million question, and I've said this a million times, and I'll get to the open house apocalypse here in a moment, so bear with me. Said this a million times. Unless you've lived through a housing boom bust cycle as a bill-paying adult and suffered some of its blowback, you don't understand the severity and the magnitude of what I'm discussing here with you today. My job is to protect you. And let's let you know it's not rainbows and sunshine. People can get very hurt in real estate. And that's why I always protect you guys. They listen. What we need to do is see if this house pencils out. Now, if you're Daddy Warbucks, which I deal with a lot of that, it's, of course, this conversation doesn't come up, doesn't need to. But if you're a first-time home buyer and you're scared to death to buy, or you're just trying to build wealth in real estate, you're new to the game, this is where this becomes very, very important. Because a lot of you are scared. You're paralyzed with fear, stuck on the sidelines. And there's opportunity out there right now. It just has to be standard amount down at today's interest rate. Do we put the payment within its rent range? Meaning, could it be a rental if it needed to be? Even if it's not going to be a rental. Because that's most of you guys like, I don't want to be a rental. I don't want to be a landlord. Whatever. If something happens and we end up in recession again, which we've always had throughout recorded history, this is the baffling part to me. We've had recessions throughout recorded history. The historical data shows boom bust cycles like clockwork. And we just went through another boom cycle, but not a garden variety boom cycle, a mega bubble, a super bubble with a zero organic growth, market manipulation, stimulus. We overstimulated the biggest asset class in the world. That part is global. The U.S. housing market, biggest asset class in the world. That's why we have so many foreign investors and Wall Street now infiltrating the industry. And we're about to take a bath. They are going to take a massive hit because a lot of kids that have never lived through a boom bust cycle are at the helm, or they're asleep at the wheel. And hopefully they are minimizing their risk. And there's a lot of toxic debt. It's tied to banks. We could have another bank failure. We could have another foreclosure crisis. We could have another recession. We could have an economic depression, a deep cycle recession. These are all on the table. And when I came to YouTube, it was all rainbows and sunshine. This was when I first came. I remember I was just kind of a deer in the headlights myself. I'm like, hey, everybody, I'm Scott Walters. I'm a California licensed real estate agent here in the Wild West. And this is exhibiting bubble behavior. And I don't want it to be, but I've never seen anything like this. And you guys are like, wow, here's an honest real estate agent. Who could have guessed there was one out there, a salesperson that we could actually trust? Those are the facts. So I don't know about you. This is my question. I'd love to hear it in the comments below because I already know, I'm pretty sure what it's going to be. In fact, I'm going to ask it on the community page of the channel. So if you're new, get subscribed, jump over to the community page and participate. Some of the polling over there, we might reveal it in a future video and get to the comments and leave some comments because a lot of times we'll work those into the show as well. This is insane to me. So we had for the longest time this narrative, there's a housing shortage, lack of inventory, and it wasn't a lack of inventory. There's enough homes out there. There just wasn't enough homes on the market. Well, guess what's happening now? I'm seeing just today, this is why I turned on the camera, on my way home, and I'm living still in a place that's not in free fall. Like we still are commanding a lot of multiple offers and near asking price in a lot of situations, but it's becoming crickets out there. A lot of the sellers are stuck on their price, and they're going to do what I say never do. The kiss of death. Stuck on the market, chasing the market because they came on too high. Pricing has always been an art form. Price right. If you're stuck on the market, there's only one thing wrong. You were priced wrong, and some agent just needed your listing and took it, told you what you needed to hear. I will pass on your listing. Happy customers are repeat customers. If I have to walk you through price reductions and finally get your sale done and it was way off where I promised or I agreed to bring you on at, you're probably not calling me or referring me to anybody else. I'd rather pass on your listing. Yeah, call Scott Walters. He didn't take my listing, but I respect him because why? I wanted a certain price. I wish I'd went with him because I'm stuck on the market chasing the market. Driving by open house signs littering corners. multiple, not just one. It used to be like one for open house sign. There's like 5 competing open house signs on one corner. And as I'm driving by and I see the house that's the open house, crickets, not one car in the driveway. The only car there is the agent's car, some financed or leased luxury car sitting out on the street. It's obvious. I remember doing the same thing. I parked my car on the street because I want people to picture themselves in the house. That's the number one thing. That's why we stage homes, because we want you to picture yourself in the house. If you roll up and you see my car in the driveway, you feel like a guest. But if you roll up like you would if you just bought the house to an empty driveway, agents, if you're parking your cars in your open houses, driveways, you can't do that anymore. During the crisis, you could get away with that because people are begging for these homes. So I'm seeing just an open house apocalypse. Open houses are inventory is just flooding in. And there's a lot of areas, Phoenix, Florida, Miami, wherever, Vegas. There's a lot of places. Now, I was just talking to an agent in Vegas, and one of you guys, subscriber, wants to get to market. They just bought in Arkansas, retiring. And I need to offload this house. Now, luckily they bought back in the day, and they were very receptive to our price strategy. Listen, we're competing with a lot of houses, and your house does not politely show as good as a model home that's staged to perfection under a think tank. Your house is not that house, so we have to price even more aggressive. And this guy, boom, done. Signed the listing agreement on the spot. Let's get her done. That was his good old boy. Love those types of people in touch with reality. He'd lived through a boom-bust cycle. He's retiring. He's seen this movie before. It's the people that haven't seen this movie before. That those houses, I've seen a lot of houses stuck on the market right here where I'm at. Like I said, I live in an episode of $1 Million Listing, celebrities all crawling all over each other. Houses stuck on the market 6 months till finally the owner fired the agent, brought in someone else. This is what's going on out there, friends. And this is the realities of what's going on. So whether the $1 million question is now, friends, because I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of inventory coming in, and a lot of houses, open houses, are now ghost towns, crickets. If you can even get a nibble, an offer, you get those people in play, get into negotiations, try to get it done. Because for a while it was agents, oh yeah, multiple offers, I'm expecting this to go over it, and it's not. If you're still doing that, you're one of the very few places, and you're on borrowed time. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy. I want to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Open houses. Welcome to the swimming pool. Signs on every corner where I'm at. How about you guys? Leave it in the comments below. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? There's 3 levels of an economic downturn: correction, recession, or depression. That's it. We are clearly in the correction phase. I want you to be smart. I want you to be like I always say, if you halfway expect this, you're going to be able to operate within it much more efficiently. You won't be a deer in the headlights if and when this plays out. Take it from me. I've seen the boom-bust cycle before. I even suffered some of its blowback. I don't regret it anymore, but the last thing I want to do is go repeat the same thing over, expecting a different result. That's, in fact, the definition of insanity. And that's why I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way. Because it's not only what we need, it's, in fact, what we deserve. Appreciate the content. I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.